Yes, it's been on.
It's been on. All right, let's try this again. Can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
All right. Good evening again, and welcome to the Wednesday, March 9th work session board meeting. At this time, want to welcome everybody who's coming in, but we're going to go ahead and get the meeting started. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Freeman? Here. Mrs. Gator?
Here.
Mrs. Moomin?
Here.
Mr. Roberts?
Here.
Ms. Mitchell?
Here. All board members are here and accounted for. Next on the agenda, can we please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. All right, at this point in time, I need a motion to approve the March 9th, 2022 work session board meeting.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept.
Is your mic on?
Yes, it is. Item 1.3, approval of the agenda.
May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Gator?
Yes.
Mrs. Moomin?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. At this point in time, we are at the agenda where we are offering a moment to our members in the audience to come forward if you have public participation. If you have completed a public participation card, Dr. Rock, do you have any cards?
There's no cards.
Mr. Jolly, did we get any emails?
No emails.
All right. Thank you so much. At this point in time, we are moving to a very special time in our agenda. So at this time, I want to hand over the mic to Mr. Jolly, our superintendent.
It's at this time, can we get the girls' basketball team to come in? I'm just going to get up there and talk. Yeah, we need some.
You can hear better.
I'm the president. They be like,
All right, so tonight we're here to congratulate the girls' basketball team. A record of what, 22-1? 22-1.
Thank you all.
Oh, you talking about this one? Oh, me? This team went through a lot of adversity. This team came together and did some historical things. For us historians, the mayor, Mr. Booker, Reverend Mayor Booker, Mr. Roberts, who's been following basketball in Warrensville for a very, very long time. The pride that you young ladies brought this city and this community is immeasurable. You went farther than any team ever in the history of our school. And for that, they should be.
Thank you all. Yes, ma'am. Thank you all.
So tonight, our school board would like to recognize you guys. I know Mayor Sellers and the mayors have some other things that they have planned for you guys that we're all collaborating on. But tonight, we just wanted to just give everyone an opportunity to share and let you know how much you meant to us. At this time, what we would like to do, each board member, if you have any comments, if you could please share with us the comments you might have to share with the buildings. We'll start with Mr. Freeman.
Thank you, Superintendent Jolly. Thank all that came out today. I want to just say I'm so proud of this team. I've been watching girls basketball at Warrensville since my sister and them in 1975. So if you look at 75 to now, even when Robin Swift played, I've never seen a basketball team play as a team. And this team did that. And we were only 1 point away, but you guys gave it everything you can. And I'm telling you, you're making everybody proud. So I'm braggadocious on all that, but congratulations.
All right, Ms. Moon.
I'm almost speechless because I'm so proud. You know, just to be a part of you guys' accomplishment. I saw your determination. I saw your drive. And I'm telling you, you are going to be successful because I saw that. If I saw the determination, I'm almost sure the community, as well as all the people surrounding you, saw your drive. And that's what we need in this community, the drive to be successful. And you guys showed us that. So if you can take away anything from your success, it's the fact that you pull a community together.
Yes.
And we are so proud of you guys.
Yes.
Just so proud.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Y'all look that way, Miss Gator is next.
Look, I can't really say anything more than what the other board members said. I know the last 2 weeks were so exciting for me. I have my granddaughter out there. She's 3 years old and she enjoyed every bit of it. I told her today, I said, Grandma is going to give the basketball team some prizes, and of course she wanted to come, but couldn't let her come. You guys were amazing. It was exciting. You fought that last game, not just against the team, but you had some struggles with the referees too. I'll put it out there. And you guys persevered and you came through, even though you didn't win, you came out. So I was proud of the way that you guys performed and how you just performed all weekend. So we're really appreciative of everything and wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Mr. Robert.
All right, like I said, I've been watching Warrensville games forever. Back when I was a little boy, I used to sit on the baseline under the hoop with that big tall dude right there. And we used to watch everybody play. So I've seen everybody play forever. And y'all team is nice. Y'all, everybody
Nice.
roles, y'all offensive swing. It's like everybody knew, like we had a good down low flow. Y'all had outside players. Y'all had players that just played shut down deep. I mean, y'all team was nice. So just hold your head up, know y'all did your thing, and this whole community is proud.
Yes. So I can't say anything more than what they said, except the pride, the tiger pride that I watched you guys play with was astounding. You persevered, you didn't give up, y'all fought that fight. And it's not always winning, it's how you go about doing what you did, and y'all did that. So we are so proud of you. So proud of you, and I can't wait to watch what each and every one of you guys do in your college careers, whether you play basketball or not. As Ms. Barber said, take with you everything you learned on that court and apply it to life, because you can't lose doing what you guys did on that parquet. So I'm so proud of you. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
They're gonna come right here. First, we have Mayor Booker, the Honorable Mayor Booker of the Village of Highland Hill.
Well, I said my comment to you guys at your pep rally. I am super proud of you guys. I not only am the mayor, but I'm a basketball official, and I officiated a couple of your games, and I found myself losing track of officiating because I became a fan, and I was watching y'all play, and I'm like not in position where I was supposed to be because I was a fan of you guys too. You know, me and Michelle just had something in common. We're both girl dads. And not only are we girl dads, our girls are basketball players too. His girls went a lot farther than mine, but my girl was a Titan. She played on the team, and I told her how much better y'all were than that. She wasn't trying to hear it. Her picture's hanging up in the lobby. She was a district runner-up. Y'all surpassed that. And I tried to tell her, you need to come see these girls play, because you guys had an incredible season. I'm a huge fan, and I'll continue to watch you guys play, but I'm proud of you guys. The city is proud of you guys. You brought a lot of pride back to Warrensville, and I appreciate your efforts every day, every day.
So first I want to say, congratulations to you guys and the team and to the parents for allowing them to participate. I just want to echo what was said today, because I was taken back by the level that you guys played. I said, came back and told Mayor Booker, when we were at a Democratic meeting. I said, I just saw this girl, right? And these girls going, they're really going, right? And so the tenacity that you guys played with, right? And Earl was saying earlier, had been many things, right? I said the pride I had when I walked into Cuyahoga Falls High School, and I would see you playing well, Coach O doing his thing, the band up in the stand doing his thing, watching the people across the way marvel at what we would do, right? How we were doing, conducting ourselves here, right? I think it gives everybody in this room a lot of joy, right? And it really sets the table for what we can do as a community. I believe, and Mayor Booker told me, so I've got 2 girls that play. And, you know, I enjoy watching girl basketball more than I watch sport basketball, right? Because you guys play it for the right reason, the right way to play. And it comes across so vivid across anybody's eyesight that the way you guys are doing it. Now, I want to say this. You get to the regional final, I want you to take that lightly. Right? That's right. Hell, I didn't come nowhere near it. That's true. You just don't get to the regional. You 1 point away from us. Because I had it booked. We were going to Columbus tomorrow. Right? That's where we were going. Because that's the level you guys were playing. But this thing teaches you in life a couple things, right? Even when you get knocked down, you come back, right? 1 point loss on the lose. You know, that day I wouldn't win that day, right? It fall my way, right? So, no matter what your paths are going forward, right? You're gonna be successful. Now, I left the one game. I'm calling Maryland. I'm calling Purdue. I said, you better. I look in the stands. Ohio State is in the stands. I said, you better get over the Warrensville. There's some players over there, right? There's some real players over there. And I think that you guys need to take that, go back to another season, just and go back to what you're doing, and just appreciate the talent that God has given you. Right? I would say that, and then I would tell you, Jada, the way you hammer that thing out front, right? I'm thinking, so I said, oh, yeah. And I said, well, I want you to know that's what you bring to the table, you know. And I know that some of you are going to have some other paths to do some other things, right? But when you launch out of here, right, that game you're playing can take you around this world if you allow it. Right? And you use it for this, just a game, but push you to play. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys, where you go, what you do. And then I tell you what, little kids that watch you, right? You don't even know how you inspire, right? I grew up in this town when all the Cavaliers lived in Glenada, right?
All right.
And we crossed that old elementary school playing pickup ball. And I always watched for hours, right? That's what got me going. Right? You never know how you impact somebody else until you actually get to participate. But step back, take pride in what you do. This whole city is supportive of you and proud of you. And they've got some other things coming for you guys. This is just the start. I want to appreciate Superintendent and his board for investing in youth athletics around here, because it gives people an opportunity and for you to wear the colors and appreciate what they do, right? Because I don't care where you came from, not many get to a regional final. They just don't. Coach, you know what I'm talking about. Not many, right, get to do that, right? I exited out in the district semis, right. So, proud. That's all. That's proud.
Thank you.
So this time, the board is going to adopt a resolution for you guys. Ms. Mitchell's gonna read it.
Whereas the Warrensville Heights varsity girls basketball team finished the 2021-2022 season with an overall record of 22 wins and 2 losses, with a school record for the wins in a season. And whereas Warrensville Heights varsity girls basketball team advanced through the OHSAA Division III girls basketball tournament and won the district championship and fought to the end in the regional final game. Whereas it is appropriate and fitting for the Warrensville Heights Board of Education to recognize and congratulate head basketball coach Ortney Bryant, assistant coaches Brian Arth, Samantha Hamilton, and Jeremy Holmes Jr., manager Jamarion Bradfield, and team members Bentu Traore, Jada Ward, Bree Ford, Tatum Johnson, Maricela Young, Michaela, I'm sorry, Lanya Tyler Thomas, Aaliyah Abdullah, Janai Bohannon, or Bobo, that's what we call her. Nia Thomas, Anissa Parker, and Mariah Rucker, and now therefore be it resolved by the Warrensville Heights Board of Education that the student athletes and coaching staff of the Warrensville Heights varsity girls basketball team are to be congratulated on winning the district championship. May I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Madam Chair, I move to approve this resolution.
Thank you. May I have a second? It
I
has been
second.
moved and seconded. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Mrs. Moomin,
Yes.
Mr. Freeman,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
No doubt.
Miss Mitchell.
Yep. It is approved. And this resolution, Mr. Jolly, I'm not sure how, will the girls each get a copy
Yeah,
of
we
this?
give a copy once it's signed.
All right, so we just want to give you one more hand of applause, but we're not done.
Thank you. Well, Rick, I ain't never heard that one though.
Why are you talking to me?
You don't even say.
Sorry.
Did I?
Say over this side.
Did I say
You said over
All right, so we got, in collaboration with the cities, there's 2 events that we're planning for you guys. One, the senior club of Warrensville Heights is planning the event on the 24th. On the 24th, more information will be coming before you and your families. Then also, we're planning a dinner, and those information will be coming soon. So all of these are, the city is still behind you. We still have a lot more activities, and all those things are still being planned. So at this time, we want to give you just a little small token. This is the first token of appreciation. And this, we have some awards. It says congratulations on chasing history, and it recognizes your district championship. And then Coach Ortney, we have some posters that we want to make sure that everyone received their copy of the poster. So can y'all show a copy of the poster for everyone?
Period. But don't.
No, I got my book taken today, so I need it. I need to.
Martin Tyler, Young.
Okay, this time I'm not lying.
Oh, yeah.
Penny, you were.
Big 2, Traore.
Okay, let me keep no secrets from you. Take me where?
3, 4.
Yeah.
Janaya
First grade.
Vanessa Parker. Jada Ward. The Division III Player of the Year, Janaya Thomas. This last person is very special. She went to Warrensville as a kindergartner. Went all the way through our system. she stuck this basketball thing out when we were old and 20-something. Before Coach Gordon came, she was her and Mitchell were two people who've been here. But Tatum has been through here since kindergarten. This is such a great accomplishment for her to be on the best team ever, and she is the foundation of this team. So, Tatum. We have stuff for Coach Gordon. It's coming. Just publicly acknowledge Coach Gordon. Just acknowledge Coach Gordon and all his efforts to turn our program around. Coach Gordon's dedication, blood, sweat, and tears to these young ladies, to the city, to the school district. The turnaround of the girls' basketball program has been tremendous. From going 0 I think it was 0-30, well, it was 30. Like 2-3 years in a row. 2-3 years in a row, we win games. And then, as soon as Coach Gordon comes, we get to a district, get to a regional, final. We look forward to what he will bring in the future. We're looking forward to Coach Gordon getting into that elementary school, put pressure on him. Ladies at that elementary school into basketball, so that this regional thing is something that we are in every year, because our system is producing these great players. We are appreciative of the great players we have here, but we have a lot more that's at the elementary school and at the middle school. That Coach Gordon is going to get ready.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank y'all for your support. It means so much. Y'all have no idea how much this means. When I put this team, when we came together, it's never been about winning. It's never been about winning at all. This is a real, we don't just say this, and we say family. When I say this is a real family, the reason why we have so much success around here, because everybody knows their role. Everybody do exactly what they're supposed to do, what they know how to do. We don't have, if Tatum, she's not gonna shoot a 3. She knows that's not her role. You know, Markayla, freshman, sometimes they get but everybody knows their role, so that's why we make the thing happen and we do all this together. It's not about me, so I'm okay without receiving a certificate or work, because at the end of the day, it's really about them. They make me go. They kept me alive when I went through my incident. They make me want to wake up every day. These kids make me want to show up at the school. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about them. I live for them. I live through them. 24 hours a day, they have me. They have full access to me. They have access to my home. They have access to my family. And I just want to thank you all for allowing us and allowing them to have access to this and you all. And I just want to thank, people don't know this, but Mayor Sellers came to me some years ago, before I even came to Warrensville, the parking lot, and he pulled me to the side. He said, we're building new schools here soon, and I think you should be our girls basketball coach. This is before I even filled out an application. And I looked at him, I said, man, you serious? He said, yeah. And he said they hadn't won a game in a couple of years. So I said to myself, I said, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but I couldn't tell nobody that I was gonna do it. And the reason why I didn't tell nobody I was gonna come to Warrensville and do it, and they had won a game, because a lot of people try to talk you out of it. So, man, you crazy? You gonna go there and you gonna lose all them games and they ain't won nothing? So I didn't tell nobody. I kept it to myself. And I want to thank Swift in the back of the room for the opportunity, because this is my first head coaching job at high school. So I owe everything to him. He was in the interview, and Ms. Cody. And then this last thing, when we was in the interview, it's funny because the guy I knew was coming out as I was going in. And when I went in there, I told them, once y'all hire me, not if y'all hire me, once y'all hire me, I'm going to hire him on staff to help him develop my youth. And my interview kind of turned to like a round table conversation. I just want to thank you, Coach Swift, for the opportunity, and I want to thank the Warrensville community for adopting us and accepting us, and I'll be here forever.
Thanks so much to everyone for coming out. We really appreciate you joining in this celebration. Thank you, ma'am.
Turn it down for you. All right.
Yes. All righty. Good celebration. I'm not sure. So at this point in time, we're going to make a motion to go into executive session. And then once we make that motion, we're going to move into the body of our meeting. So if after we make the motion, if after we make the motion to go into executive session, you guys are free, you're free to stay, free to leave. We will come back and continue our meeting. But we do want to say thank you so very much for coming out and for joining us in our work session meeting tonight. Okay. With that, thanks, mayors, for coming. And oh, there you go. Thanks for coming, Councilman. All righty. Next on the agenda, if we can have a motion to move into executive session to consider the purchase of property for public purposes or for the sale of property at competitive bidding if premature disclosure of information would give an unfair competitive or bargaining advantage to a person whose personal private interest is adverse to the public interest.
Madam Chair, I move to go into executive session, item 2.1, for the reasons that you just read.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Rakim, please call the roll.
Mr. Freeman,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mrs. Newman,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, motion passes 5-0. We will excuse ourselves to go into executive session. We will be back.
Let's pass this bill.
Dr. Rock, you need to call the roll for that. I don't know why after all these years I still ask.
Yeah, I'd like to, if
Okay,
that's
go ahead, please. Please call the roll.
Mr. Freeman,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mrs. Moomin,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, motion passes 5-0. Thank you for always keeping me honest. All right, at this point in time, we need to have a motion on the floor for item 3.1, the resolution to enter into agreement with Mount Zion Fellowship to purchase real estate property at 4265 Northfield Road, Warrensville Heights, Ohio 44128. May I have a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I move item 3.1 on tonight's agenda, resolution for Mount Zion Fellowship Church for the recommended action that you just indicated.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been moved and properly seconded. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mrs. Moomin,
Yes.
Mr. Freeman,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, motion passes 5-0.
All right, let's buy this thing.
All right, let's get
All
this
right.
done. All right, next on
Thank
the,
you.
thank you guys for coming. Have a good evening. Next on the agenda, we're going to need a vote for this next item. It's item 3.2, open enrollment. You want to do the presentation?
Yeah,
Or you
it's a
want to
short
do the motion?
presentation
Okay.
I'd like to do, just to talk about the possibility of the district possibly moving to a controlled open enrollment.
Okay.
Tonight, what I want to do is just go through what open enrollment is and what vision that I have for us to possibly undertake that open enrollment. As many of you know, as everyone knows, with the opening of our new school, there's been a lot of people that wants to come to our district. And in some places in our district, we are under-enrolled, and then there's other places in our district we're over-enrolled.
Okay.
So in this process, what we want to do is look at how, if we have some open slots, could we possibly utilize open enrollment to fulfill those slots? Also, understanding that we're losing a lot of money to open enrollment that other districts have, such as Cleveland and others, how can we use our new facilities and operations to secure some of our money back? So today's presentation, I'm just give an overview of what open enrollment is, and then detail what the vision would be for us here. So again, everyone knows it's defined as a student in a public school other than the one they're assigned to. So that's, if you live in Warrensville, you have to go to Warrensville. But with open enrollment, you could go to a district that's outside of that district. It allows a student to attend a school tuition-free in a district other than theirs. So tuition-free, I'll give you an example. Bedford students who live in Walton Hills pay tuition to go to Colga Heights. They pay a tuition like $10,000 a year to go there. So you can charge tuition to go to your district, and some districts do that. So our policy 511 already allows full-time employees to enroll their children in the district. So currently we have 10 employees who have their child enrolled in our district. It's up to 15 children. It is 15 children as of employees' children who go to Warrensville at this time. Each scholar equates to about $7,000 a year. So we get $7,000. We're recouping $7,000 of money that left us through our employees' children.
Okay.
Right now, 173 districts out of 612 in the state of Ohio offer open enrollment. So 173 throughout the state offer it. So right now, this is our money going out for like open enrollment. So 398,000, they go directly on open enrollment. They go to places that have open enrollment. Those are places like Cleveland, East Cleveland have open enrollment. I'll go through the districts that have them. But mainly those kids go to Cleveland. They go into John Hay and schools like that. Community schools, this is the charter thing that we have limited control over. But this charter thing is the issue because we can't really slow this down. But it was up to 4 million at one point. We got it down to 3. It was higher than 4. I think it was like 5 or 6 at certain points. And we've been whittling that down. And then you have the scholarship money. This is some new things they put for like Catholic schools and private schools. So kids go there, and we have kids going to Benedictine, St. Ignatius, and places like that that's using that. So for a total, it's like $3 million, almost $4 million a year that's leaking out. Well, right now, it's not taken out of our money. The new state law, they take it off the top. But this is, in actuality, this money should be coming to us. Yeah. So around us, you got Cleveland, East Cleveland, and Richmond Heights are the ones who recently just started doing the open enrollment. So Richmond Heights started last year doing open enrollment. East Cleveland, they've always had open enrollment for probably the last 10 years, and Cleveland has open enrollment. The other districts that you see in here do not have open enrollment. There's various factors and reasons why they all don't. Then I'll go through the pros and the cons of having it and not having it.
So, Mr. John, let me ask you a quick question. So if a school system do not have open enrollment, and yet one of their students want to come to Warrensville, wouldn't Shaker Heights still have to pay for that?
They will have to pay the money to come with them. Okay. So we have open enrollment. So once Shaker wanted to come here full time, then the money comes with the student.
Okay.
So I just looked at our numbers, and this is the elementary school. And if you look at it, the elementary school is full. Kindergarten, we're plus, and this is if we staff at 22 in the class. That's the optimum learning at the elementary school. Right now, the kindergarten is 18 over. The sections is how many groups we have. First grade, we have 23 slots in first grade that we available. But again, in the school, it's too many people, so those 23 slots get absorbed by the 9 and the 8 and the 4 that's in 4th and 5th grade. And then in 3rd grade, we would theoretically have 2 slots available. So in this, I would recommend any open enrollment for the elementary school because we don't have any space for it. Yes, sir.
What type of adjustment would we anticipate seeing this with the early education center?
So with the other, so again, with open enrollment, it go back to staffing too. You don't want to add new staff for new students. Okay. So what we do is look at what we already have, and then if the class sizes are less than 22 or less than 20 or whatever, then we'll look at that, trying to get it to 22. But we also got to leave room for people that move in. Okay. So you got people that move in throughout the year. Okay. So we in that process, and again, we have never done it, so this is an exploratory process of figuring this out. We have about a 20% group of people that move in and out the district. So we wouldn't want to over commit in any grade because then it would add to staff. So we don't want to add staff.
At elementary school, we're already full. We're full plus 4 without even allowing for people moving into the district.
You're right.
So we don't really,
because we already got to account for, there's going to be kids to move in. So there's no need even addressing the elementary school or open enrollment at all. As we go to the middle school, again, the middle school, if we are staffing at 22, which is maximum, we'll be about 45 over right now. That's right now. And then the building that currently exists cannot accommodate any more people. So with them being in John Dewey, we don't have any space now. You got big middle school kids there. We don't have any space. Now, when we move to the new building, which will house 450 students, then we will look at the middle school. So the only place that we possibly have some space is the high school. If you look at the actual numbers, the freshman class is large of 170, and then the other classes are half. If you look at, as we come up, our numbers are growing from the bottom, but these are the last group of students that we had. These kids now were in like 5th or 6th grade when we first got here. They were for Tatum, and the graduating class was in 5th when we came. So these were 4th and 3rd graders. And at that time our numbers were not high, so they weren't as high as they are now. So, and I've got no recommendations. So no middle school, but at the high school, I do think we can accommodate a few students there. Move to the next slide. So the pros and the cons. Increased revenue, so we can bring in increased revenue. Opportunity for scholars that live close to the boundaries of our school district to attend the district. I can't tell you how many times people move on 189th, all on Harvard, and always want to come to our district, and we always have to say no. And then also, we contend with people who get addresses that don't live here to come too, all the time. We're always chasing the cat behind us. It provides a larger pool of scholars to ensure that all our programs are filled to capacity. That's very important. As we invest in culinary, we invest in all these different programs, we want them full. And I think that if we have opportunities for people who want to select into those, then we'll ensure that they all are full. Improve district image and desirability. I think that people, if we open, people might want to come. It provides for diversity of cultures. People from different areas might come to be in our programs. And then also allow scholars to remain in the district if they move. So, the senior guarantee, we let seniors stay, but other people do have to go. On the cons, property taxes stay at the home district. So we won't be collecting property taxes from these people. The parents won't vote for levies because they won't be registered voters. The parents will be responsible for transportation. Social factor, the scholars might be treated as outsiders. And that could be an issue too, right? You got all these kids coming from here, and then that could be contentious. And then just the seats available. And I know it's probably more cons that we probably can come up with, and it's more pros. But this is just my first overview with you guys, and I just want to let you know what we're thinking about it, and bringing it to the board to think about approving at a later date. Again, we have down here work out all the details if that is to happen, or if the board is to want to move forward, how exactly that would look. But I have brought it to her and we've discussed it, so I want to give an overview. I have some more. Go to the next one. So when we say I went through and tried to come up with what would be the criteria, how would we determine who comes. So I did consult with Richmond Heights because they just did it last year. So one of the things they did is, what we just talked about, people who live in Warrensville get the seats first, automatically. Second one is children of non-resident employees get the second option. So we want our employees to get the second shot. Siblings who have other siblings enrolled in the district. Sometimes you have split families, and one kid might go to this school, one kid go to the other school. If we can unite them, we'll give them priority. Making sure all the paperwork is in order. Another thing, we don't want to bring students who are credit deficient here. So we don't want to bring issues that we don't have to deal with already here. Again, if kids are suspended or been expelled, we don't want to consider them. Next one. Again, we'll look at the building capacity and class sizes to determine who comes. Then if you end through the duration. You won't have to keep reapplying. So if you get in second grade, then we'll let you continue through the process, unless something else happens. If you move out the district, then you will have to apply the next year to get back in. And this is just brainstorming, trying to figure out how exactly our process will go. We won't provide transportation, so the parents, once you sign up, you'll be responsible to come. Special ed, very important. So with special ed, we would not discriminate against anybody that has special ed, but we won't take people who we don't have services for. If we don't have a program or the space in the program, we can't take them. So if it's an open spot, we can take them. If it's not an open spot, we won't. But we're not taking on, we won't be taking on any new issues. Again, the Ohio Athletic Association, the rules that pertain to that, they will have to fill out the regular enrollment form. Next one, Jonathan. their attendance and discipline. If they do not attend school, then they will be withdrawn. So if you enroll in our district, you're an open enrolled student, and you don't come to school, then we will disenroll you.
Right.
And then every year we review the policy. We want to put this in place because if it's not working, then we will cut it. So we want to make sure that's in place. And the more formal presentation would be if we bring it to you to go over exactly how it goes. But we always want to put in place where it's yearly reviewed, because if we get the new school and it's full, we won't even have space for it. So every year we want to do a review. So this is our plan. If tentatively, we're gonna come back to the table and come back to the board, maybe in April. And this is what we want to do. We'll open as a trial 25 seats in high school only. There'll be only high school 25 open seats. We will designate 1 week for enrollment. So if you really want to get in, you're gonna fill out your paperwork, get it in. We'll review the applications. We will have a selection interview process of those applications, and then families will be informed that final week. So we'll know by July who is in the district, who's not. Get them scheduled and get them acclimated to what we plan on doing for the next year. So that concludes just an overview of the thoughts been here moving to open enrollment. I know that with all these new programs we have, there's been a lot of interest in our district, and people have been trying to move here. They've been trying, and people have snuck and got in here too. We are aware of, and Mr. Alexander has tracked people down, go to their homes. So this is a great opportunity, I believe, for us to look at the monetary side of recouping money. It's an opportunity for us to market our district, opportunities for us to bring some very great students to our district, and for us to continue to grow. So at this time, I'm open to any questions. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. On a couple of slides back in, you noted that we'd have the opportunity to review every year. So if the board decides to stop open enrollment, will those scholars that are already in the district be grandfathered in?
They should be grandfathered in. They should not be withdrew. It's just that we won't be opening up for any new students.
Okay.
And Superintendent Jolly, the process of interview, you would have a schematic or how you would interview and what you're looking for in grades and so forth and transcripts.
Right, so what we would do is have a team consisting of the principal, guidance counselors, and the parent, because technically in order for that kid to come, the parent has to be 100% on board.
Okay.
Because they're going to be coming from somewhere else. So they have to become part of the community. So you will want that process to be done before they come instead of after.
So, Mr. Jolly, are you going to be able to do like a background check?
Right, so all their records will have to come. So we will have to look at all their records.
Okay.
We will have to ensure that they're in good academic standing.
Okay.
We will have to look at to see if we have openings in the respective grade or program. And if they don't meet that certain criteria, they won't be admitted.
Okay.
They won't be admitted. So that background check would be their academic records and other things. And when we come back to you, we will have samples of exactly how our process will look.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick comment. So, this is something we brought to the board years ago with the previous superintendent, Margaret Day. And when she brought it to us, we were like, why would we do open enrollment when people are leaving in droves? My point is, we have people that are begging to come back to the district. I admit I've always kind of been on the fence with enrollment or the problems, but I feel for the school's problems, I should say. But I feel like just what you've shown initially, we're addressing that. We're addressing, making sure that we're not getting those students that we should be in the alternative school. So I like what I've seen. If there's additional data that you could provide to help us make this decision, that would be great. I'm not even sure what they didn't get at this point. Richmond High School
And you know, Richmond Heights did it with the combination of building a new school. So they opened a new high school, and then they opened up enrollment. So I would talk to them and see what type of data they have in Richmond Heights also. But I do know that our new high school is going to be very attractive to people. And people figure out ways to get in our district. So my thoughts is that while we get ahead of it and provide opportunities for people to come the right way instead of the wrong way. And then we chasing people down and all those things. So, and I just think it offers our district an opportunity to continue to grow and have the best and brightest. So at the April, probably work session in April, we'll come back with a formal presentation and opportunity for the board to exactly see how it looked and for the board to consider moving forward.
Do you think that the voucher discussion is going on right now, is that gonna impact this at all?
Yeah, it is. The voucher, the backpack bill, everything. The key is getting people to come to you because, that's, I mean, because they saying the money goes with the kid.
Right.
So the kid. If we want to be part of the conversation and part of what happened, we have to adjust so that we can be part of it instead of the money leaking out and we can recoup it. No way we can recoup $4 million. We don't have the space. But if we brought all our kids back, we would have to adopt. If it was the way when we grew up, you either paid tuition at Hawken or U.S. or you went to the public school.
Right.
So technically, all those kids that go to community schools would be here. All them kids in open enrollment would be here if this was traditional sense, and we would have to do something to expand. But we're building these new buildings. We're building them a little bigger than anticipating that kids are coming. We built an elementary school bigger than we anticipated, and it's already full. So with that, you already know what's coming. So we just, I think, positioning our district to participate where we're at an advantage instead of a disadvantage. That we can recoup kids or get kids that want to come. So I think it's just being proactive instead of reactive in this where this process is.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Well, Mr. Jolly, thank you so much for the in-depth information, and we do look forward to the broader discussion at our April work session meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next on our agenda is item 4.1, and this is a brief update by members Gator and Freeman at their attendance at OSBA's leadership. But before you guys get started, I wanted to do a quick shout out to Ray. I'm not sure if you guys saw he was acknowledged for Black History Month by one of the local online papers. They gave him a shout out as a former Denver Bronco football player. They just gave a little bit about his history. So congrats, Ray, for being in that publication.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Someone had told me which was actually William Merritt, so I appreciate it.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ray.
Thank you.
So with
I had
that,
to call it to you.
I'm not sure which one of you guys wants to go first with
I'll let Mimi go
OSBA.
first.
I'll go first. It's kind of brief, you know, I mean, so we attended the training session called Deeper Dive.
The Deeper Dive, that's what it is.
201 or something like that, so I really thought it was gonna be more of a deeper dive for veteran board members, you know, and I think I was hoping it would be more along the lines of government, but it really wasn't. It was, more or less a read through of some of the things that we've already learned. You know, some of the things that they talked about is expecting motions, you know, and once the board steps and forward. They talked about, emails and not reply all, you know, things that we already know. The most impactful thing for me, I guess, is just maybe the legislative update. I think we should say the legislative update. And they talked about some of the different legislation that's coming through. You guys are getting the emails from the exec chambers, the legislative updates. You probably know some of what's going on. I think the biggest thing is, again, the backpack bill. And they just passed legislation about dyslexia. So I don't know what our school information about that as well. So, you know, it's good to go to training sessions. I can always say I can walk out of there learning something, but I was really looking to get more out of it. So, that's what
Mr. Freeman?
Yeah,
Thank you,
I'm gonna piggyback off of Mimi, but, I've really this year, Madam Chair, try to, give the Ohio School Boards Association more of my time. I was a little disgruntled with them in 2019, so I didn't go to all of the actual seminars and webinars that they, offered. But, as I had talked to, Rick Lewis, you know, I'm giving it a shot. Mimi had mentioned it to me, but I had seen it. The deeper dive that they had Saturday was pretty good. I mean, it helped as far as if you didn't know what the bills were. I mean, I thought Jennifer Hogue did a great job explaining it because in the Urban Network, Will Schwartz did it just 2 days ago. So I sat in on that. It was for an hour. It was free. But I didn't take that much out of it. What Terry tried to do is actually, Madam Chair, is get board members involved. So what she did is ask a series of 4 questions. If this was Tracy Mitchell, what was she doing in this instance? So she wanted participation, but on a Monday at 8:15, you don't get that much participation from board members. But I thought, like Ms. Gator said, that the legal update, legal alerts we get from OSBA, and Will Schwartz tell us about these bills and backpack bill, like Superintendent Jolly said, it was good to hear from her and where we're at. What concerns me as a board member in Ohio and being a Republican state is they're approving a lot of stuff that are attacking board members. Now they want to go to a 2-year term with the board members, and that passed, and the backpack bill, that's passed, and now we still got the critical race stuff out there. In Florida yesterday, they just had, today, don't say the word gay. So, you know, they're attacking us, and we need somebody or legislators who's going to fight on our behalf for, on a national level, local level, and a state level. And I see it coming. I know Mimi do because we see the alerts, but it's hard to be a board member in some of these states because they're coming after us for every little infraction. And someone not to sit in the seats we sit, we board members that sit at the table. How you going to tell us how we can educate children? I can't come to Miss Newman and say, hey, Miss Newman, you was a teacher for 13 years. That's how. I don't know nothing about it. It ain't my wheelhouse. So it concerns me that we have legislators trying to tell board members what to do and how many terms and what can you do and what can you teach in your classrooms for our educators. So we just got to look forward to that, and we got to have a voice. So, but what I got is the legal out of it. So
Thank you
I
so
mean, not to
very
get on
much.
a soapbox, but
Thank you both so very much.
just real quick. The 2-year term that you're talking about, though, OSBA is not supporting.
No, I would say not. It doesn't make sense because you don't really learn your
No,
role
not in
really
24
good
months.
until you're into your second year.
Also, I just wanted to update Madam Chair that I will be in Georgia this weekend. I did get a call today. They're trying to have a mini conference for whatever this new board is called in August. So they're trying to do a mini 2-day in Chicago
Just
in
keep us
August.
posted because this is going to be interesting watching how this pans out
Yeah.
because it was Arizona just pulled out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I thank you both for going. Just a reminder, as board members are going to the sessions, even though we have pre-approved the OSBA sessions, please, in a school board meeting, just kind of note that you're going to go so we can make sure it's noted. So it's easier to know who we need to connect with to do the update for each of the board meetings following those sessions. All right, next on the agenda is Policy Volume 39-2. Mr. Jolly, I know we all read it. A lot of this is legislative, so we're going to hand it off to you. And I do believe, Dr. Rock, there's 2 that apply to you. And if we have any questions, do you want us to handle them with each policy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so just really focusing on policy, on a few that these were highly recommended, and we really didn't make too many adjustments to it, but 2240 controversial issues. So this one is changed because of House Bill 164. The new law defines religious expression to include prayer, religious gathering, such as prayer groups, distribution of written materials or literature of religious nature, and any other activity of the religious nature, including wearing symbolic clothing or expression of a religious viewpoint, as long as the expression is not vulgar, obscene, indecent, or offensively lewd. So, and basically with this, boards are no longer permitted to restrict student exercise of religion to lunch periods or other non-instructional time periods. So, I mean, this one for us is not anything that's of concern at all, but again, we have to pass it. 2260.01 is, this is in reference to special needs. And this one, it makes, places particular emphasis on protection for students who are identified under a 501 plan, 504 plan, and ADA. And in this one, the revisions to this policy are based on recent Office for Civil Rights investigations and reviews of compliance issues, particularly related to VOCAD programs with emphasis on vocational education. So this one, again, is something, we do have some considerations with it, but nothing major. Then the next one, 2266, non-discrimination on the basis of sex in education programs or activities. This was revised because the policy recognized the definition of rape as of January 2021. It deletes the original reference to the definition required by the Clery Act at the time of the release of the regulations in May of 2020. So in this one, basically, is that the definition is provided by the National Incident-Based Reporting System. So it changed the definition of rape and made it part of policy. 6144, I think this is Dr. Rock, but investments. You want to speak to it or you want me to speak?
I forgot my copy to put it down.
So I can speak to it. The revisions of this policy are the result of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission municipalities continuing disclosure cooperative initiative. So this one,
That's what the continuing disclosure policy is like with our bond financing. In fact, I just got done filling out the disclosure. Every year, the bond council discloses again so the investors could see that we're in compliance with everything that needs to be disclosed.
these other one revised 6600. This is, I'm sorry, 6220. And this is dealing with budget reserves provisions. So our budget fund balance and things like that. So this is like provide for more restrictions on that. 6600 is deposit of public funds. Again, this is another one from Dr. Rock, but it provides directions regarding discrepancies at cash collection points. Dr. Rock, can you speak a little to that a little bit?
Yeah, and at the buildings, we have an online collection now that helps with that and gives us the details on cash collection. And then also remember that every time that there's something going on where your cash is going to be collected, the form comes up to Mr. Jolly saying that, you know, they're going to run this, not a fundraiser or something. And then it gets approved by Mr. Jolly first. So then it's on our radar.
This next one, 74401. This one is basically allowing the district to use or allowing policy to allow pre-recorded lessons or observations online. So we did do that during COVID and the pandemic. So again, you need a mutual agreement with the union, and our union has been very supportive. 84501, protective facial coverings during the pandemic. Again, this is another revision to the policy. This provides coverage for students, employees, and volunteers. And for us, again, it allows us to make our own decisions, which we decided to continue the mask mandate until further notice. 8500, food services. Again, this is one that was revised based upon the United States Department of Agriculture. And again, it goes back to like stigmatizing kids who don't have money. We have universal feeding, so no one's stigmatized at all. And then the wellness. Again, this is another like common one. Every 3 years, you have to review your wellness. So again, we're in the process of doing that now. So any other questions or concerns, Ms. Gator?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You want to go first? I've got a couple.
I do too, but
Okay.
they're on three
All right,
different
so
policies.
I'm gonna go with 7440 first.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one on the video surveillance. Would you take a look at the second page? It's got option 2 checked off. And if you look down a little bit further, it talks about the number of days. Do we need to specify how many days? Shall maintain video surveillance to view a recording.
Give me 1 second, because I didn't.
Do you want me to bring it to you and show you? I can show you.
Yeah, just. Oh, I think I don't have it.
Sorry.
That's okay. Let me see.
What was the question?
Are you in the second to last paragraph?
Second to last.
Can I see?
Yep.
Oh,
It
okay.
says, so it's, it's this question.
Yeah, I have some else on the
So
bill.
are you saying, are you asking, are we saying something
Specific
different than the
days.
7 to 30 days?
Is it, so I guess the question is, are we saying that sometime between 7 and 30 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Or do we have to specify how many days we're gonna hold it?
No, so I think what we did is we gave that leeway of those 23 days. So within 7 to 30 days. So we have in that. So 7 days after the event, but before 30 days, the process has to be done. Anytime after 30 days, then it's null and void.
Okay, all right.
So you got up to 30 days. Basically, you should say up to 30 days, not 7 to 30 days.
All right.
All right. She
Yeah,
didn't put
I got a
mine in
couple
here.
questions.
Okay. We do not have body cams in the district at all.
Okay.
We don't.
And then on that last page,
Can I let me see?
talks about the very last section, it's got, there's a couple of X's there. So are we saying it's annually or just quarterly? The superintendent shall conduct.
Yeah, that should say annually.
Annually,
It should
okay,
say
so you'll have them remove the
I gotta
check
correct
mark
that,
from
yep.
quarterly. Okay,
Maddie, correct. That should say annually.
that was all I had on that one.
You want to keep that so you can give it?
Yeah, I need to. And I need to pull it. Let me pull it.
While you're looking, I have my other two, if you don't
Go
mind.
ahead.
Okay. My first question was 2240. The second X on page 1, it
Okay.
says, have been approved by the, but you guys didn't designate who. Is it the principal or department head?
It's gonna be principal.
Okay.
So that's.
You want to keep
yeah,
this one here? And then my only other question on that one is, I was just curious about, we didn't check off item C, encouraging the open-mindedness and the conduct.
It wasn't checked out.
This is 2440.
Okay, I wasn't
Yeah,
sure
it
if it was
should've
in the
been
wrong
checked off.
place or
That's
not.
2240?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
it should have been checked
Letter
off.
C, because I was wondering, because the X, I wasn't sure, so I wanted to ask.
Okay.
Because I thought that was a little bit debilitating not to have.
Yeah, it's checked off. I'll make
Okay.
sure that's clear.
Okay. And then did you find yours, Mimi?
I just had it and then I lost it, so go ahead.
Okay, so then my only other question, why did I have this one? I had 2266 marked off, but now I can't find my note. I think I just have questions on page
Oh, I know which one it was. Which one it was.
right here. Huh, so guess what? I didn't write it.
Which one was that?
2266.
2266.
I have question marks, so I can't find my little note here.
If you could email, if you're online.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Consent, the consent and incapacitated,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just reading it wrong.
So this is part of what, like, part of the policy. It's like we can't,
So that's their language.
that's their language.
We don't touch
We
it.
don't touch it. In these, they give us choices. and
Where are we looking
We're
at?
looking on
Page 2.
Page
Page
2
3, I'm sorry,
or
2266.
2266.
Okay,
It's number 7 and 8, consent and incapacitated.
gotcha, okay.
And Mr. Jolly was just explaining that that is language that stays.
Yeah, this is language that they recommend we adopt. We
Okay.
really don't have choices in it. But again, it's the board's policy. So if the board wants to do something different, we can.
I don't wanna go against
not
whatever is
touching
that.
mandated by the state.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't
recommend it.
touch
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Those are my questions.
All right, so
This
the
is-
other one, unless someone else had a question. No? Wellness, 8510. So on the second page, I'm just curious about number 15.
You said
Um,
which one you at?
8510 wellness.
Oh, okay,
Number
I saw that.
15.
Yeah, staff is responsible for providing instruction and nutrition and shall regularly participate in professional development activities. Wouldn't we want to encourage staff to learn about, just attend professional development activities?
Yeah, and I think we tried to do that with partnering with Southeast Nutrition and all these different places. So I think that's one we could check. I think that's something that should be checked. I agree. I think that one should be checked. 15 should be checked.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go back up to number 10. The school cafeteria shall serve as a learning lab by allowing students to apply knowledge, attitudes, and skills taught in the classroom when making choices at mealtime. Can you just explain that a little bit?
So before COVID, we had salad bars, all different choices you get to choose. So now at the high school only, those choices exist with salad bars and things.
Okay,
So with that, that's the more choices that we have, based upon what they learn in class, they get the opportunity to choose different foods.
okay,
With the pandemic, it limited the choice of the foods, but that's something that we want to continue. Because as we build the new high school, there's gonna be various different choices for them to eat healthy. We have at the high school, we do have, home economics class in the high school where they do teach nutrition. We do have biology where they do teach nutrition and different things. So, the school cafeteria will provide them with that opportunity to apply some of that.
okay. All right,
And it's kind of limited now because of the supply and demand that exists of not having things. But that is something that before COVID hit, the middle school and high school have full selection, at least 4 choices a day with salad bars. We're moving it back up now.
okay. Awesome.
Mr. Jolly, you talked about religion. I think I put a note down, but I can't find it.
Okay.
Can you kind of elaborate? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because we do have Muslim children in the school, and I know during Ramadan we don't, they're not permitted to eat, and then our prayer time is sometime during the school hour,
Oh, you have.
and I can't find my sheet, but you commented on that.
It was 2240.
Yes, 2240.
Yeah,
Controversial issues.
issues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in that one, I mean, again, I think our district does a good job of respecting
Okay.
everybody.
Okay.
And I think we haven't had any issue that I'm aware of. I can't say I'm not aware of any issue with not respecting people's religion
Okay.
or even their gender or anything. I'm not aware of any issues at all.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to clarify that. Okay.
I didn't have any others. I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a look over the next
Okay.
couple of weeks, and if I have anything more, I can contact you.
Yeah.
Please send any questions you have to me, and we will address them.
All right, thanks, guys. Good, that was good conversation. All right, next up on the agenda is item 5, and Donna Andrews has joined us to provide an update on a year in review with Couple and Wagner. Mr. Jolly, I didn't know if you know.
Yeah, so I know that in the past, we normally had Ms. Andrew come to our meetings and just give an overview of where we were. So I thought at this time, as we move into a new year, come off the pandemic, it'd be a great opportunity for Ms. Andrew just to come up and just share, some of the things we work on. And also to just explain the process of how we interact to solve problems in the district. As you know, every day things happen. Since we've been here in this partnership with Pebbles and Wagner, we haven't lost any lawsuits. Prior to my arrival, there was a lot of litigation that occurred between the district and parties. Constant litigation was occurring. And since we've partnered with Pebbles and Wagner, we've been provided, in my opinion, great counsel, great wisdom on how to move forward in some very touchy, tough situations. I know you guys are familiar with an email that came recently about the basketball game. I sent it out to everybody, and Miss Andrew was very in tune to how to manage the situation that sometimes could go any direction. So I just felt and asked the board if she could give an update on just where we are with the different issues that we face as a district.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening,
Good evening.
So nice to see you all. I think that the best way I can describe this is something that I always say to folks when I first encounter them in terms of representation, is that the best way to work with your attorney is to not have to work with your attorney. And the way that we do that is we team together early on in situations to make sure that we avoid legal issues. That is the best way to operate. So we have a very good team approach. As you know, I think almost all of you know, we have different attorneys in our firm who work in different areas. So for instance, Dr. Rock works quite a bit with Chris Williams, my partner who handles a lot of tax matters. And for my role, it really is a lot of general representation, day-to-day questions come in, quick questions a lot of times, just what route should we take on this? What board policy should we focus on that? What collective bargaining agreement provision should we use to deal with this? We try to nip things in the bud very early on. Really, really helps keep problems at bay. And I think we've been very, very successful at that. I think there is an effort on the part of Mr. Jolly to make sure that there aren't unnecessary phone calls being made to the office. But when it comes to special ed matters, Ms. Lindsay will contact Jackie Brickman in my office, who can handle things very, very quickly and very efficiently. And I think that's really the key to the team approach that we've developed, efficiency. Obviously, you have had some big ticket items that we've had to deal with. We're waiting for the Supreme Court decision. Every now and then it enters into my memory, and we have a moment of when is it going to come? But the team effort that went into that, and so I think in terms of where we are now versus where we were when I was a fresh face in the district and we were working together for the first time. I really, really believe that the partnership between us and your administration, us and you as board members, is in the best possible place it can be. I believe that we're really working well together. And I think to that end, our firm has also developed good relationships with your union leadership. And I think that that has helped a lot as well. Having a good, open, honest, and consistent approach to dealing with not just general legal issues, but labor issues also helps keep those costs down as well. So all in all, I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier with the direction your district's going in. The issues and the concerns that you guys raise are just show the progress you're making. So it's amazing. But I'm honored to be part of it. So as far as any questions go, I'm happy to respond to any questions anybody has about our relationship.
Go right ahead. I just have one, so
Okay.
it's not necessarily about the relationship, but what I'm wondering is, in your interactions with Mr. Jolly and staff, do you see any policies that maybe we need to be taking another look at, just based on some of the interactions? Or do you think
Yeah.
we're doing good with our policies
You
as
know,
they
so
are?
for board policy, we keep up on your, on the laws and what's required. So if there was something that we recommended, Mr. Jolly would hear about it. Something that you don't have. I think that, as a matter of fact, I was just having this conversation yesterday with a board member who had identified a specific issue that was plaguing that district. And that's kind of rare that you get something that's just kind of very much out of the box for other districts. And we talked through some ideas for how to come up with a policy to address that. But that was kind of a unique situation. So to the degree that there are unique situations that come up, we have a phenomenal policy department who comes up with ways to deal with those things without creating unnecessary obstacles. Because sometimes that's what policy can do. If you create a policy that creates procedures and hoops that you have to jump through to deal with things, sometimes that can make things less efficient for the district. But where we can partner together and figure out ways, as I'm sitting here right now, Ms. Gator, I can't think of anything that you're not up to speed on, to be very honest with you.
That's what I was hoping to hear.
Yeah, no, I'm if there was something, I'd know about it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Board, are there any other questions for Donna?
I don't have a question, but Madam Chair, I would like to speak, and Donna's been there for us, and when she came aboard, and I know they were doing our special ed, and then she took over, and I know she helped me as a rookie president on this board to get through some challenges we had. But I reflect and look back on it, but I don't know how me personally or the board would have got through without Donna's guidance and her always giving us an encouraging word and always keeping her lines of communication on a Saturday, Sunday. And I'm not one to call Donna all the time, but when I do call her, she can give me the answer. So I just want to thank you, Donna, for helping us in those early years, 6-7 years ago, to make us a better board. So I want to thank you.
It's genuinely an honor to work with every one of you. I can't say that enough, truly.
And you have a very effective team. You didn't mention Milko. He helps a lot.
Oh, Milko,
with
yeah,
our
phenomenal.
public records request.
Yep.
He helped us with a big project on our
Yeah,
records retention. And then also Dan helped us with our policy.
with policy, right.
One of the very unique policies that the board has set that I don't think I would challenge any other board out in the state of Ohio. They wouldn't even have that, a deficit spending policy, and Dan helped us with
Oh,
that.
sure.
And Brian DeSantis too. So you have a very effective team.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I mean, I am so proud of the team that we've assembled and how responsive we can be. And so it means a lot to me, Dr. Rock. Thank you very much.
Could you just talk about like pending litigation we got? Just
Okay, well, I mentioned briefly, I think you were out of the room.
Okay, right.
The Supreme Court decision that we are waiting for. We also have there is a matter pending in Court of Common Pleas involving a former employee who resigned his employment. And we're dealing with claims that he felt his resignation was not voluntary. So we're dealing with that issue. I believe there's a couple of workers' comp claims, but not a lot. I mean, I think we're working through those pretty efficiently. I think that's everything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very small pile right now, which is a beautiful place to be, to have a small group. I mean, obviously, one of them is a very big one, that, you know, but in terms of the pile, very, very small. And currently, 0 labor grievances, not one. Phenomenal, just phenomenal.
So the things that you're working on now, those aren't even anything that's gonna come back to the board, right? I mean, or
So
could
a
they
workers,
come back to
yeah,
the
a
board?
workers' comp claim in court probably won't. No, I'd say that's pretty unlikely. The personnel matter, if it survives summary judgment, which I doubt it will, we may have to have another conversation about it, but I don't expect that to be the case. I expect it to be disposed of. You know, it might not be, but I have high hopes for that one.
There you go. Staying positive in 2022.
Yeah, no, you know, and this is something I think almost everybody in this room has heard me say. If you don't have to deal with me, you can concentrate on educating children, right?
That's right, right.
And that's what we're here, that's what we're here for. That's what it's about.
All right, any other questions for Donna?
No, I appreciate this. It's always good to hear from the attorney, you know, what's going on. So I do
And it's always
appreciate
good to
your
hear there's
coming.
not much.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, good.
All right, well then we're gonna come to the conclusion of our meeting and move into executive session. If I could have a motion for item 6.1 to move into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of employee, public employee or official.